When it was over, she turned to Fritzi and said, "I wish Richard Widmark had met Jodie Foster instead of the old lady in the wheelchair, don't you?" Fritzi agreed 1000%. 30. Lying in bed that night with an October wind getting up to Dickens around the house and Fritzi beside her, curled up nose to tail, Tess made an agreement with herself: if she woke up tomorrow feeling as she did now, she would go to see Ramona Norville, and perhaps after Ramona, depending on how things turned out on Lacemaker Lane, she would pay a visit to Alvin Big Driverstroke. More likely she'd wake up with some semblance of sanity restored and call the police. No anonymous call, either. She'd face the music and dance. Proving actual rape 40 hours and God knew how many showers after the fact might be difficult, but the signs of sexual battery were written all over her body. And the women in the pipe, she was their advocate, like it or not. Tomorrow all these revenge ideas will seem silly to me. Like the kind of delusions people have when they're sick with a high fever. But when she woke up on Sunday, she was still in full new Tess mode. She looked at the gun on the night table and thought, I want to use it. I want to take care of this myself, and given what I've been through, I deserve to take care of it myself. But I need to make sure, and I don't want to get caught, she said to Fritzi, who was now on his feet and stretching, getting ready for another exhausting day of lying around and snacking from his bowl. Tess showered, dressed, then took a yellow legal pad out to the sun porch. She stared at her back lawn for almost 15 minutes, occasionally sipping at a cooling cup of tea. Finally she wrote "Don't get caught" at the top of the first sheet. She considered this soberly, and then began making notes. As with each day's work when she was writing a book, she started slowly, but picked up speed. "31. By 10 o'clock she was ravenous. She cooked herself a huge brunch and ate every bite. Then she took her movie back to Blockbuster and asked if they had Kiss of Death. They didn't, but after 10 minutes of browsing, she settled on a substitute called Last House on the Left. She took it home and watched closely. In the movie, men raped a young girl and left her for dead. It was so much like what had happened to her that Tess burst into tears, crying so loudly that Fritzi ran from the room. But she stuck with it and was rewarded with a happy ending. The parents of the young girl murdered the rapists. She returned the disc to its case, which she left on the table in the hall. She would return it tomorrow, if she were still alive tomorrow. She planned to be, but nothing was certain. There were many strange twists and devious turns as one hopped down the overgrown bunny trail of life. Tess had found this out for herself. With time to kill, the daylight hours seemed to move so slowly. She went back online, searching for information about the trouble Alström had been in before his father committed suicide. She found nothing. Possibly the neighbor was full of shit, neighbors so often were, but Tess could think of another scenario. The trouble might have occurred while Stroke was still a minor. In cases like that, names weren't released to the press and the court records, assuming the case had even gone to court, were sealed. But maybe he got worse, she told Fritzy. Those guys often do get worse, Fritzy agreed. This was rare. Tom was usually the agreeable one. Fritzy's role tended to be devil's advocate. Then, a few years later, something else happened. Something worse. Say Mom helped him to cover it up. Don't forget the younger brother, Fritzy said. Lester. He might have been in on it, too. Don't confuse me with too many characters, Fritz. All I know is that Al fucking Big Driver raped me, and his mother may have been an accessory. That's enough for me. Maybe Ramona's his aunt, Fritzy speculated. Oh, shut up, Tess said, and Fritzy did. 32. She lay down at 4 o'clock, not expecting to sleep a wink, but her healing body had its own priorities. She went under almost instantly, and when she woke to the insistent da-da-da of her bedside clock, she was glad she had set the alarm. Outside, a gusty October breeze was combing leaves from the trees and sending them across her backyard in colorful skitters. The light had gone that strange and depthless gold which seems the exclusive property of late fall afternoons in New England. Her nose was better, the pain there down to a dull throb, but her throat was still sore and she hobbled rather than walked to the bathroom. She got into the shower and stayed in the stall until the bathroom was as foggy as an English moor in a Sherlock Holmes story. The shower helped. A couple of Tylenol from the medicine cabinet would help even more. She dried her hair, then swiped a clear place on the mirror. The woman in the glass looked back from eyes haunted by rage and sanity. The glass didn't stay clear for long, but it was long enough for Tess to realize that she really meant to do this, no matter the consequences. She dressed in a black turtleneck sweater and black cargo pants with big flat pockets,